Good morning. It is day 266. That means, y'all, I have less than 100 days now. I'm back into the double digits of finishing out the year. Isn't that amazing? I think it's amazing. And look at this. Blue skies. It's like 50 degrees here in Kentucky, which means, too, that we've got steam happening down on the lake or the mist. It's beautiful. Enjoyed my 24-hour sprint to Nashville and then getting back into the groove of things. And we are gonna, hey, good morning, friend. We're gonna talk about Romans chapter 12. This is okay. So Paul in this chapter is trying to really get us to understand God's gift. Like he's still hitting that message home. And we've talked about the last law of paradox the last couple of days. And we're going to sort of stay in that area, but I'm using the word irony today. That's when things turn out the way you don't expect. And you didn't see that coming. And this is what the human mind tries to do when it comes to trying to be good all the time. The more we try to be good, like the worse we are. That's the paradox that we're in, the catch-22, if you will. And when we actually let go of trying to be good, we actually become better. When we let go, when we sacrifice being judge, jury, and executioner, not only of ourselves, but others, we free ourselves to be what we were actually created here to be. All of that energy that we disperse out there in that type of energy of judgment and, all the things that we do in community, we get to actually free up to be what Paul is calling a living sacrifice. One of my favorite quotes that I have just kept in my line of view for like the last 5 years, and it's a quote from Anonymous, whoever Anonymous is, but Anonymous was really smart when he said, or she said, I think it's just she, when she said, if you don't sacrifice for what you want becomes the sacrifice. Think about that. Like that quote has been like my anchor. Every time my flesh, myself wants to give up, stop doing something that I know is good for me, I remember, oh yeah, if you do that, you're really sacrificing what it is that you really want in the big term. So it's basically, in a nutshell, it's the conundrum that we're all in, short term versus long term. And we've got this survival self that is worried about today and tomorrow and next week, like the short term, and wants to just say, you know what? Let's not worry about what will happen in 10 years. Like, let's just worry about today, or in 5 years. Like, this is fun. And a lot of the things that our survival self and our physical flesh self likes to do is not always, maybe I shouldn't say usually, there are certain things that when we indulge in that aren't good for us long term. And this is the message, and this is the language Paul needs to speak when he's talking to the people. And he's saying, look, God designed you each with these great gifts. Some of you are teachers, some of you are encouragers, some of you are prophets. Like, he names all of these different things. And when you sacrifice being, all of these other things, and here's another, I'm going to push pause for a minute, and let's talk about the word sacrifice. Sacrifice means that you're giving up one thing for the benefit or for something that is deemed more worthy. So when you sacrifice being judge of yourself and trying to be good enough, you're actually saying that who God designed you to be fully is worthy. See how the irony of that? By kind of giving up, the idea of deserving and earning and all of that, you actually make yourself deserving and worthy. The irony of God, the paradox, the catch-22. Like, y'all are humans. I made you to be humans. I love you as humans. I'm the creator. You're the creator, created. Just listen to me, would you? Like, stop. Free yourself from the burden of trying to be little g gods to each other, to yourself. And just do your best to cultivate and nurture and develop your own gifts and talents. And then you're going to be so excited about life that you can't help but share it with others. Like, we don't keep these gifts to ourselves. We do keep them to ourselves and hidden when we don't even spend time recognizing them. And we just go around, again, just judging and caught up in others' affairs. It is amazing when you cultivate your own little garden. For those of you that maybe have listened to me, I can't remember what day it was, but it was way back in one of the Gospels, maybe Mark, where Jesus is, I think in all of the Gospels actually, he gave the parable of the seeds, the difference of throwing it on the ground, or maybe it has a little bit of dirt, but it doesn't get deep roots and it's easily blown away. And then there's the seed that gets nourished. It has a good plot of land and it's watered and taken care of, and then it becomes this big, great thing. Like the mustard seed, like a mustard tree or olive trees, one of the trees that is talked about that are in that part of the world. And that's what we are. Like, when we're like, really take some of these metaphors and these parables to their like literal, like let your imagination play around with some of the visuals of these parables. And when I did that with the parables of the seeds, and I imagined myself as a little plot of earth that has a seed planted in it, and then I nurture it and I water it and I take care of it, and look at what the potential is. And it's in the seed the whole time, the full potential. You and I are limited by the dimensional world and have to live life kind of in a linear fashion. But when God is outside of all of that, and he has all the necessary ingredients, the full potential that's in a seed. But we have free will, and we get to do with it what we want. He gives us that responsibility. He gives us the potential, and then we have the responsibility to cultivate it. And when we walk around trying to, and spending all of our energy, maybe in the name of love, trying to be responsible for everybody else, we take all of those resources that could have been used to nurture our own seed, our own garden, our own little plot of earth, and we don't reach our full potential. That's the irony of this. What Paul is actually saying, like if we put it maybe in modern day language, or at least this is how it came across to me, is you get to be free to be you. God created you special. You are worthy. You are worthy of being cared for, caring for yourself. And the best way that we actually do that, ironically, is by realizing that we're not worthy. Because when we start to think too much of ourselves as worthy, that's when we puff our chests up and we look at other people and we start, doing all the finger wagging. So he's saying, stop, stay in your own lane. do what you were called to do, nurture your gifts and talents, share them with other people, and life's going to go good for you. Like, these are principles, whether you believe in God or the Bible or not. This is a practical book of wisdom. It's like a life manual. But it's hard because it's so easy. And boy, I suffer from this one, especially as I'm learning more. Like, I think this is especially a message I personally need to get, because as I'm learning more and more about brain science and psychology, and even the process of becoming and transformation and helping other people with that, I have to really resist the temptation to think that I know what's better for other people. It's true. I know. I'm so nice. I just don't seem like I'm so judgmental, but I am, because I'm human. But the more I can lean into curiosity and realizing I don't have all the facts, I don't know what's going on in somebody's mind or heart, and I'm making assumptions, then I can let go. And then my gift of coaching and encouraging and even a little bit of teaching can actually be a lot more productive and helpful for people when I get my opinions out of the way and I just help pull people's own wisdom out of themselves, in their own knowing, because they're the ones that have at least more facts about their own lives than I do. I understand some broad concepts. So the less I try to think I know it all, the more I can actually bring to the table and help people. It's ironic, I know. And then I can just, even as a parent, I was thinking about this morning. As a parent, we seem like we have such a burden to be completely responsible for our children's behavior and what they do in the lives. And a lot of even adult parents with adult children have a hard time letting go of this. They're their babies till the end, and the more they hold tightly to that idea of I'm responsible for my kids even into adulthood, the more they actually limit themselves, they limit those adult children from becoming who they can fully become, because now they have that extra burden of, I've got to meet my parents' expectations. I've got to believe what they believe. They aren't fully set free. We really need to set our adult children free. We are responsible for role modeling, teaching, living, being that living sacrifice that Paul is talking about. And then we let God take care of the rest. We let other people with free will take care of their own lives. Boy, that is some freedom right there. That is salvation, right? That is being saved from ourselves. Yes, liberation and freedom. Free, and that's when we actually get free to love other people, like really love other people. Because we look at them now with fascination and compassion and curiosity, and we see people for who they are versus what our idea of them is and our expectations is, and according to our worldview. Sounds a lot like God, right? Yeah, we think of ourselves as little gods that have it all figured out. And I will love you as long as you play by my rules and my expectations. And we get to free ourselves from that. This is the good news. At least this is the message I'm getting. So do with that with what you will. There's a lot of, when you really let your mind ponder these interesting dynamics that we all live in on earth, what are you going to do with that? Are you going to set yourself free? Are you going to set other people free? Are you going to hold yourself captive to your own ideas and the world according to so-and-so? Anyway, those are my deep thoughts for today on Romans 12. And I hope you all have a great day and rise and shine. Bye.